Welcome into Section 65, the official podcast of Garage Guys Fantasy Sports. I'm Clay Keaton, your host, alongside my partner and co-host Tanner Colson. Tanner, it's September 3rd. We are 23 days away from college football. The SEC is completely taken over. They take over every year, pretty much literally. But this year, it's all SEC. Clemson, Oklahoma, we'll see you in January. Ohio State. Turn it on ESPN. We got a game here in about 3 weeks.
Yeah, enjoy it from the sidelines, boys. So how about the Big Ten and the Pac-12 opting out of the season like they were players or something like that?
Big Ten and Pac-12 taking the coward's way out. Kevin Warren, whose son is set to kick off in Baton Rouge in 3 weeks for the Mississippi State Bulldogs. Mike Leach, first year heading into Death Valley.
Yeah, I mean, that just makes absolutely no sense to me, man. I mean, the Pac-12 opting out is one thing, but the Big Ten opting out, Kevin Warren, the optics are just not there for me.
And it sounds like they're trying to change their mind. It's chaos is what I think. It's absolute chaos.
I think the only way it ends is they're not playing. I don't see spring football as a viable option.
What are they playing for in the spring?
Second place? I don't know.
I mean, what is Oregon playing for in the spring? The Pac-12 championship? You can have that shit. You know? I mean
unless there's some way that they plan to do the fall team plays the spring team, which I don't, what are they going to do? Stay in shape for an extra couple months? Have a bunch of new freshmen come in and play?
And what about the NFL draft?
Yeah, we're gonna have a bunch of guys playing 26 football games next year, like Justin Fields.
Well, let's jump right into the new landscape of college football. COVID has really impacted all of us, especially the college football world. But I'm very proud and very happy that the SEC has been able to figure out, a way to do it.
Yeah,
and
no guarantees they finish, but
right. New rules, new guidelines. Actually got an email today that we were notified that we will be in Neyland Stadium. Season ticket holders will be there. Our section was actually moved. Not as good as the section as we normally are, but as long as we're in there, that's all I really care about.
Yeah, I'll take what I can get in a season like this.
Right. Well, it's definitely going to be different. The COVID rules, we've got the capacities listed down here. We're going to go through those and talk about, what the stadiums are going to look like. And
it's not great.
Yeah, that's pretty much how we're going to jump into it. So the first thing that I want to talk about, no tailgating.
Yeah, right.
I know you being a Gamecock. I mean, tailgating is like 60% of the game for you people.
It's almost the whole game, honestly. The last couple of years have been pretty rough since the old ball coach left. So for me, in my experience, it was, you go to the tailgate, maybe don't even go to the game. But
that's what you were telling me. You're like, yeah, I don't know if we're even going to make it to the game. You might not even need to get tickets. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Well, some people just go to play for fun, man. What can you do?
Nothing. I will say I had a blast in Columbia rolling around in the mud in that parking lot from all day, really.
As a former student, I have to think that they're going to have to rip kids out of that tailgate lot by their cold dead hands. I don't think there's anything that's keeping those BACs low this year. I think they're going to have a really rough time keeping kids out. I mean, on campus they've already got all the Greek life houses are quarantined basically. So I think
didn't they come out?
Yeah, kids are going to tailgate one way or another. I know that. Well,
South Carolina said today something about there are a lot of cases. I mean, it sounds like it's kind of shut down. I don't know. Tennessee kind of had to shut down there a little bit last week. But let's go through and talk about the capacity. I don't think people really understand what 25% looks like, and I guess nobody really is going to know until we see it. But I've kind of seen it, I think, a little bit with the NBA bubble. I mean, there's not going to be really a home field advantage.
No, well, and it's not 25% like everyone's packed down in the bottom bowl. It's
Right.
going to be
It's
all
spread out
all through the whole stadium. So there's
Right.
going to be 25,000 fans, but it's not going to be in a crowd. They're going to be all 6 feet apart essentially. So who knows? There's going to be poor kids stuck in the nosebleeds, all they could get in at. But
yeah. I mean, I personally think that the no bands on the field, that really sucks. That really sucks, especially as a ball, running through the tee is.
I've been to a couple.
That's the best entrance in college football, Virginia Tech.
Well, I've been to a couple of Tennessee games, and there's nothing that gets me hyped more than that one guy in the band that runs through leaning like as far back as he humanly can. That's just a tradition like no other, and it's going to be weird seeing them running through the tee without that guy leading the charge this year.
Right. So let's go through the SEC West. Alabama says they're going to be 20%. Arkansas, I don't know what Arkansas's deal is. They're saying 16 to 17,000, 21 to 23%. Ole Miss 25, Mississippi State 25, A&M 25. Over in the East, Georgia is going to have 20 to 25. Florida has not announced how many they're going to have yet. I think COVID is really serious down there.
Well,
Florida, LSU, Kentucky, and Vandy are all some of the teams that have not decided on their fans. This will be the first year that the Vanderbilt Commodores have an excuse for their empty, pathetic, tiny stadium. Nobody wants to come watch the Commodores. Nashville is absolutely ecstatic that they don't have to waste their time on the whole 150 people that go to those Vandy games in that Nashville traffic. I mean,
they're not going to have to get trolled online this year for their fans. It's going to actually be a region.
Vanderbilt seriously might go 0-10. I mean, seriously, the only people that are going to be there are going to be the away team's families.
Yeah,
I don't even think the Vanderbilt players' parents want to come.
Well, I'm just hoping that when the Cox come to town, they have 10% capacity just so all Gamecocks fans can come take over.
I mean, Georgia and LSU absolutely took that stadium over. Hell, Tennessee takes it over every year. Every
time.
So Missouri, let's not leave them out. They are at
they're leading the charge. They're at 25%.
25%. And what we were talking about earlier, South Carolina actually was the first school to pretty much say, we're having fans. We don't really know how many, but we're having fans.
Oh, yeah, we never came off our rock there. We pretty much, the whole thing went down. Everyone started saying no fans, and then the Cox just held strong and said, we'll have people here. Who knows how many, but yeah, they've been on that the whole time.
It's about time the Gamecocks led the charge in something, bud.
Yeah, right.
Well, let's jump into
some of these other rules. We got a couple more rules I was hoping I could add in. So
okay, well, yeah, let's talk about
there's gonna be no bands and cheerleaders on the field. We're hoping they'll be on the sidelines or in some capacity present. But it's gonna be tough. All the fans have to wear face masks, and I was just traveling through the Southeast this last week, and let me tell you something, man. I don't know if this face mask thing is gonna work out, bro. Tennessee and Alabama specifically do not seem to think that the COVID is going to find them in these stadiums or in grocery stores or anywhere. So
so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous because I'm here in Knoxville, and I was at a restaurant the other day. I won't drop a name because whatever. But this guy brought me my food, young kid, looked like he was in college. And I looked up, he's got my food in his hand. He's not wearing a mask. And I looked at him and I said,
right in his hand.
I literally said, where the hell is your mask? And he just looked at me and was like, and just didn't know what to say. And I mean, I was hungry. Still
probably wiped his nose while he was walking off or something.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? I mean, you're breathing all over my damn food, man.
This little snotty kid.
Yeah.
Well, another new thing they're doing, they're installing barriers at all the concession stands, which should also be interesting. So they're going to have prepackaged everything. And this is going to be tough for all the donors and sons and daughters of donors. You're not going to be allowed to hop suites this year. Once you are in a suite, you're stuck in that suite.
Suite hopping not allowed.
No suite hopping, like me and Clay are very accustomed to doing, obviously.
I've sat in the suites a couple times. It's nice. The alcohol's nice. The food's nice. But I want to be down there in the elements. I want to be down there close to the field. And I'll let the sweet people do what they're doing. Hey, I saw a stat the other day. How the season tickets worked pretty much for all the schools this year is the athletic directors, the university presidents, what they did is basically gave the season ticket holders, the donors, the boosters, the option to opt out. And I'm mainly speaking for Tennessee. I mean, I haven't dug as deep as I should on what the athletic directors are saying for the season ticket holders of the other schools, and a lot of that is because some of that information is only the season ticket holders know because they're the only ones who get the email. Now, granted, the media does get a lot of that information, but I was informed that the Georgia Bulldogs, over 68% of their high-level donors have opted out. So
they're not even going.
Not even going, which I guess a lot of these high-level donors in the Southeast are, older, longtime friends of the university who don't want to risk COVID. But in Knoxville, man, I don't know. I think I don't.
Dude,
If you're
are
Georgia
Georgia
Orange, I think you're going to be in that stadium. And it's so funny. My dad called me and he said, "Look, they're giving us the option. If we don't get our season tickets, they want us to still give our money." And
couldn't be me.
Well, we were still going to give it. I mean,
Well, it really brings up the question, though. Are Georgia fans Fairweather fans? Are they real fans? Are they fake fans? What's going on with that? 68%.
I don't know. The only Georgia fan that I actually have a decent relationship with is also a Kentucky basketball fan. So I really don't think they know anything. I've been to Athens several times. It's a great place. I think I'm 1-1 down there, maybe 1-2. But the Hail Mary kind of makes up for all of it. So
yeah, that's enough. Well, I mean, at least the bright side of that many people opting out is you don't want to get barked at so fucking much walking to and fro the stadium, man. If I get barked at one more time in Athens, I'm never going back. I'm calling it.
It's seriously ridiculous how much barking goes on down there.
There's no worse feeling really out there than getting barked at after your team loses, like walking out in like your team's jersey and you guys lost and you got to deal with all the bullshit, like drunk kids barking at you and stuff. I mean, I don't think I'll miss that this year at all.
No, and I didn't hear much barking last time I was there because of the Hail Mary, but they are pretty aggressive with that bark. Usually no bite though. Usually no bite for the Bulldogs.
Very little bite.
All bark for the dogs.
So what do you think about this SEC only schedule? I personally think it's the coolest thing ever. I'm excited. I think it's going to be big boy football all season. We don't have to worry about playing Southwest Louisiana State or whatever.
Right.
It'll be cool, kind of straight to business.
Here's the thing. Here's what I think. And is the SEC only schedule really cool? Yeah, it is really cool. It's great that we get to play Texas A&M. It's great that, these other schools that South Carolina, gets to go to. Where are they going?
We got Auburn and we got Ole Miss added this year.
Yeah. So, stuff like that. But here's what people don't understand. And here's what all these fans are. And yeah. Should I be excited about all SEC? Sure. Could it be the future of college football? Maybe. It very well could be. But what people don't understand, the brutality of what's about to go on, the beatings that these players are about to take. I never once saw a single minute on the field at Newman Stadium. But I did a lot of freaking practicing, man. And I'll tell you, it's not a game. It's not a joke. And when you do have UNC Charlotte coming in this week, or when you do have UAB or Southern Miss or UTC or whoever, it's nice. It's nice. Practice is relaxed. And sometimes it'll jump up and bite you in the ass. Like last year for the Vols, Georgia State comes in and absolutely shits on us at home. First game, unbelievable. I will never, ever, ever forgive Jeremy Pruitt for that. Ever. I will never forgive him for that. That was
he can win a title, and that'll still be in the back of your head.
If he wins a title, if he wins a title, if my aunt had a dick, she'd be my uncle. That's what I have to say. But anyway, people don't realize how brutal, how banged up these guys are going to be, and it's. I mean, it very well could affect the season. I mean, if Alabama, if LSU has these guys get hurt,
They got to go back in and play a real SEC team the next week. They don't get these bye weeks where they just get better. It's like they got
and Clemson's over here got Wake Forest and Boston College coming in, and you know, and I don't know, but
yeah, it's going to be interesting to see.
That's what I think. Do I think the SEC schedule only schedule is awesome? Yeah, I do think it's awesome. I think it's cool. I think it's, you know, obviously once in a lifetime thing. Maybe it could be the future, but people don't understand how hard college football is, man. They don't.
Yeah. Well, I think the SEC is going to get real crowded at the top this year. I think there's going to be a lot of 8-2s, or you know, like who knows who's going to be getting picked out to go to the playoff if there is one. I don't even know how that's going to work this year.
Well, I mean, it's scheduled for January. It hasn't. I asked Feinbaum the other day as the date for the college football playoff noon. He said no. So, you know, he said that it's staying where it's at, and it'll be where it's at. Whether it happens or not, it's not moving. And he knows his shit. So, you know,
well, I don't really just talk about too. It seems like with these new schedules, when they added all these other teams, it seems like a couple of teams got kind of some breaks, but I mean, no one's got an easy road.
Well, and that's the thing. There's a lot of speculation, a lot of conspiracies that, okay, Alabama, how come Alabama picks up, I think they got
I think it's like Vandy in Kentucky or something.
Oh, is it Vandy? Okay, well, and here's what I think about it. Well, should Alabama have to play, you know, Florida? Or I think Alabama does play Florida this year.
Yeah, I'd have to have the schedule in front of me.
I'm wrong. That's Georgia. I'm wrong.
Yeah,
Georgia plays Alabama. But here's what all these people are talking about. Alabama gets these. Well, here's the thing about Alabama. And I'm a diehard Vols fan. I've got a freaking power key tattooed on my leg. But I do respect Nick Saban, and I love what he does, and I think he's the greatest college football coach of all time. People are complaining that Alabama, LSU, Florida, and Georgia got the weakest teams in the SEC, and they did. They did. And my thoughts are, well, Alabama, Florida, and Georgia, and LSU have been the top 4 teams in the SEC the past –
since we were born, basically.
I mean, do they not deserve – I mean, Alabama's got to play LSU. They've got Georgia this year. And they've got A&M. A&M's I got a lot to talk about A&M next week, bud. I got a lot to say about A&M. Jimbo Fisher, scary. I'm scared of the A&M.
Yeah, that's a good football coach right there.
You know, and so they've got Auburn, who I think is preseason. I think they're number 11. You know,
always
up there. And so people are upset that Alabama isn't. You know, and then they say, well, what about Georgia? Okay, well, Georgia, they have Alabama just by having state this year. Yeah, they have Alabama. They also have Florida. They also have Auburn.
That's not easy.
Yeah. So I don't know. That's kind of what I think about that. Do I think there might be some conspiracies into the SEC thinking, well, we're going to give Bama a little cakewalk to make sure they get into the playoff because we don't want.
Well, it's not going to look good having the top 3 teams all at 8-2, man. I mean, someone's got to kind of.
That's another thing. If the top 3 teams are 8-2, can the top 3 teams either be 8-2 though?
I'd have to do the math. I'm not quite. I mean, the bottom teams would have to be pretty terrible. But I mean, who knows? They get a random loss to in Arkansas, South Carolina, something like that. Then yeah, I would imagine so.
Yeah.
You get a lot of. I think a lot of 4 and 6.
Yeah. There'll be a couple. I think Vandy and Arkansas.
Yeah, well, I will say it is pretty cool though because because the SEC only does the 8-team conference schedule. It's and they have one rotating team every year. A lot of the times like Auburn, I don't think the Cox have played Auburn since 2011 in the SEC championship with Cam Newton. Like, you play a team in the West and then you don't see them again for 10 years. What
was the score to that game?
Wasn't great for the Cox, I'll tell you that much. It was probably our best chance we'll ever have to win the East in my lifetime. I think it was a lot to a little. Yeah. But yeah, like at least it's cool though to kind of see some new names on the schedule that you don't usually get to see. Like, the fact that you can go to the SEC and go to a school for 4 years and you've never played certain teams, I think that's something they should probably change at some point anyways.
Like, let me go to College Station. Like, you got to try. They need to. And that's a one, maybe one positive thing about all this COVID stuff is maybe we're going to get to travel to more cool places. Maybe these players are going to get to see more of the SEC. But, then there's also the people, well, Tennessee was supposed to go to Oklahoma this year, to Norman. Well, that sucks. That was going to be awesome.
That was going to be a great game.
Alabama was going to play USC.
Another classic.
So, but like I said, I think it'll be really interesting. I think guys are going to get banged up, and I think people are going to be sorely disappointed at the fact that maybe the best SEC teams do have one or two losses.
Yeah, that'll definitely be something to keep an eye out for. But at the same time, I think it's going to be really nice to see that every single week there's good games going on, as opposed to week 2. What is it? Week 2 of every season where everyone just plays up against Cornbread State or something like that, and like.
Well, and that's another thing. I mean, there will be good games. Week 1 is pretty weak, schedule-wise. CBS is going to Baton Rouge for Mississippi State, LSU. I guess maybe they want to see Mike Leach, new era. But my God, I think LSU is like close to a 3-touchdown favorite. We've got Kentucky and Auburn, who, I mean, that Kentucky, I'm not really buying into the Kentucky football baby back bullshit just because they're just pathetic. They're barely above Vandy. But they might be pretty good this year. And hey, you know all about Kentucky.
Oh yeah, I'm not big on Kentucky. I like Mark Stoops though. I'll give Mark Stoops his credit where it comes from. He's a good coach.
Credit where credit's due. But I mean, I will say that the Kentucky Wildcats' best season in college in their history of their program, they still couldn't win in Newman.
Well, and they're no Gamecocks either. Like the Gamecocks have been around since '92. Kentucky's been in the SEC for a damn long time, and they have not accomplished much of anything. Like they've kind of just been there forever and just been okay. They're probably about as good right now as they've ever been as far as like a 5-year streak.
And Kentucky's entire mantra is basketball. I mean, it is. And so, but I don't know. I mean, I just think they should have put a little bit more into football. But I understand basketball. That's their thing up there.
Yeah, I think they're putting their cart in front of their horse here a little bit. I think I think their fans need to get pushed down just a little in the football department. I wouldn't mind seeing them go 4-6.
It's really hilarious because I've been to Rupp Arena and I've been to Kroger Field. Everybody knows I've been to Kroger Field. I mean, that's that video, the fight, and everything, but it's so funny because the class and the kindness of the fans of the Kentucky basketball game is so much better, and everybody is so much nicer in Rupp than they are in Kroger Field. I think it's because those tickets are so damn expensive to get into Rupp, and there's a freaking 50-year waiting list, and all the people
the wine and cheese crowd
going for years, and all the people at the the Kentucky football games are watching the basketball games at home and devoting their salary to get into Kroger Field.
Yeah, they're getting their like scratch off tickets and shit like that on their way to the football game. Yeah. They give them away, I think, for free in Kentucky. I don't know for sure.
You can seriously get season tickets to the Vanderbilt University Commodores football games for $100. $100
for the season.
For the season, I'm not kidding.
You probably wouldn't even make a profit selling your seats every week.
The Vanderbilt. We'll get more into Vanderbilt once we let's get into the news, and then we'll get more into Vanderbilt. I got a lot to say about Vandy.
All right, so in some big news of the week,
feel me on the Vandy thing.
So in some big news of the week, South Carolina's 5-star freshman Marshawn Lloyd is out for the year with a torn ACL, which he was. I know I'm a Gamecock guy, but he was kind of one of my preseason I thought he was going to be an impact freshman, one of the best running back recruits to come out or to go to the Palmetto State in a couple of years, and the fact that he's out, I don't know what the hell is going to happen with Mike Bobo down there.
I think Mike Bobo's a good coach, but I'm not really seeing where South Carolina's going to score any points.
No, I'm not sure I am either, unless Ryan Helinski does something crazy and we got some guys stepping up. Marshawn Lloyd was kind of my sweetheart. He was my guy this year that was going to convince me that we could be more than we are. And now that he's gone, who knows what's going to happen? Maybe the Muschamp defense will finally show its face. I haven't seen it yet.
They're going to have to score some points on the defensive side of the ball, though, if they're going to win any games.
Oh, yeah, no doubt about that. We're going to need a couple pick sixes. And another news thing, we got LSU. They might be in some trouble this year, Clay. I don't know if you've been keeping up with them too much lately, but they got some big opt-outs coming up. They got Jamar Chase, obviously one of the best receivers I've ever seen as an underclassman. opted out just this week, and Tyler Shelvin, one of the biggest D tackles in the SEC, 350 pounds or something, he just opted out too. Probably good for him with, whatever his BMI is. I can't imagine COVID would treat him too well. But they lost both of them, and then on top of that, they lost Joe Brady. They lost their defensive coordinator. It seems like they got fucking 26 guys drafted last season, including Joe Burrow coming off that hell of a year. We'll get into it a little more next week, but I think they might be in some trouble.
I am seriously worried for the people of Baton Rouge, and that's all I'm going to say for next week.
And I love Coach O. Go Tigers. But I'm just not sure. We'll get a little more into that next week when we do our over-unders and everything like that. But in other opt-out news, we got a little guy from Georgia by the name of Jamie Newman, who I'm from the state of North Carolina. And I keep up a little bit with, ACC, Wake Forest a little. He's a pretty good quarterback. He transferred in, and this week he decided to opt out conveniently pretty soon after JT Daniels. What do you think about that, Clay?
Well, here's what I think. I think Jamie Newman.
What? What an idiot. Oh, what a loser.
Jamie Newman goes to camp in Athens, goes to football camp. I don't know if you people know this, but college football fall camp is the most hellish thing I've ever done in my life. You go from 5:30 a.m. to 1 a.m., and then, you've got meetings. It's the only time I've been able to fall asleep sitting straight up. So I don't understand really what Jamie Newman's doing. I have a theory. I think that he got his ass beat out by JT Daniels, and now he's opting out. Nobody in their right mind goes through college football fall camp and then opts out. Use your head, Jamie. Use your freaking head. You're one play away from being in there. Why are you opting out? Where are you going to go?
You should transfer to like Ohio State or something like that. Just go to the Big Ten.
Hey,
at least they're taking the season off anyways.
Justin Fields was at Georgia practice this week. Did you see that?
Yeah, I'm excited to hopefully in the coming days see if maybe there's something going on there.
Jamie Newman should go back to the black and gold, do whatever he can to get to Nashville and to prove to everyone the loser that he really is. He should have been Vandy bound from the start, and he wasn't. And so now he's saying that he wants to prepare for the draft. Okay, well.
He'll be a great priority free agent, I think.
Just like the last ACC quarterback. Just like the last ACC quarterback transferred to the SEC and become nothing. What's Kelly Bryant doing, Buster? I don't know.
I don't know. I have a feeling he's probably a receiver at this point. maybe like a receiver in the XFL.
Is he in the league?
No, I don't. He might be in a training camp right now. I'm not totally sold. I don't. He might be switching to receiver and going to the XFL or something.
I think you're pulling this out of your ass. I think Kelly Bryant and Jamie Newman are probably together right now, playing the new Madden, smoking pot. That's what they're doing.
Yeah, they're applying to jobs at insurance companies together.
Yeah, Jamie, give me a call. You need a job.
Jamie, we'd love to have you on the show, Jamie, if you're out there.
You're not going to the league, Jamie. You're not going to the league. And JT Daniels showed you what the Pac-12 is all about, I guess.
Hey, man, that USC.
I will loser a Georgia Bulldog. I will step on their throat. I will respect all teams on this show, but I will loser where loser needs to be losered. And then this is one of those cases. Jamie Newman, loser of the week.
He could have been one of the best backups in college football, and instead
one play away from being in there against the Gators.
He'll be selling insurance.
For the East. Georgia, Florida, for the East, Jamie.
Well, who even is who's Georgia's backup now? Who else do they even have? I'm sure they got some young starry-eyed recruit or something coming out, but
I'm sure.
I can't help but feel like a Jamie Newman might have been helpful there.
Well, and that's why we don't know this, because I've been thinking that it's been either Newman or Daniels this entire time. I've been kind of keeping up with it, and now Newman's gone.
Well, maybe he had like a theory, like the last dual threat quarterback that went there and ended up transferring out ended up being Justin Fields. So maybe he's got this idea that maybe he'll just transfer again and he'll just be the new Justin Fields or something somewhere else. Maybe go to Wisconsin or something next year.
I just like cannot imagine like putting in the time and the work that is required, even though everything's a little bit easier for the quarterbacks, I will say, but it's still very hard, and still you're still very tired. You're still not getting any sleep.
A lot of studying.
That's true. And so I just can't imagine going through camp. And I mean, literally the only thing that got me through college football camp, number one, hardest thing I've ever done. But the only thing that got me through camp was knowing that I was going to get to run through that tee, and it got me through. And I mean, Jamie Newman should have just got his shit together. I mean, Jake Daniels isn't that. I mean, he's okay. He's okay. I really thought Jamie Newman was going to be the starter.
Yeah, I thought so too when he first transferred for sure. So
I mean,
let's
yeah,
see.
JT kind of come out of nowhere, sure, but still, work your ass off, man.
So let's see what else we got. We got the trouble in Tiger Town down at LSU. We got the opt-outs. We got Jamie Newman. Oh, what do we think about Cade Mays? I'm sure you got a lot to say about this.
You know what? I'm just going to tell everybody what's going on with Cade Mays. So Cade Mays was at Georgia, and before he was a Bulldog, which he should have just came straight to Tennessee in the first place. I don't know. I guess he wanted to do his own thing, which I respect. But and also, I mean, 2 years ago, why wouldn't he go to Georgia over Tennessee? I mean, he's Georgia's been in the college football playoff. But what's going on with Cade Mays is he was represented by Tom Mars, who has now been hired by the NCAA, which I guess they just offered him a bag because he was the attorney who got Justin Fields transfer, that got him waived. You know, he's never been denied a waiver. And so Cade Mays had that guy. Well, the NCAA offered him a bag. He's not an attorney. I don't know what he does. I think he's does something for the NCAA. And so, but what happened was Cade Mays, the whole reason for his transfer, had something to do with he was on a recruiting visit, and his dad's thumb.
Didn't he lose a finger?
Some kind of weird thing happened.
Like a folding chair got him or something?
Yeah, his dad's thumb got caught up in a folding chair, and it ripped his damn thumb off. And so, I mean, I was literally told that Sam Pittman was walking around with the thumb in his hand because, I mean, you got to keep the thumb. I think they put it back on.
Hey, put it on ice.
Right, but and so now that was their case. Is that happened and it's just not been good? Well, now they don't have this attorney, and now he hasn't.
Isn't the dad filing a lawsuit or something like that too?
Well, yeah, the lawsuit has been filed. The lawsuit has been in. Yeah, I don't know any updates on the lawsuit. I don't know. I just know that Cade Mays should be approved, and he hasn't been. Which Tennessee's offensive line will be the strong point of their position groups. And realistically, do we need Cade Mays out there? Yeah. Do we want him available? Yeah. Will he probably start if he's available? Yeah. But we got other good guys who are good.
Yeah, I think that line's probably pretty set without him, but that is banana land that Cade Mays' dad got his thumb stuck in a folding chair and lost it, and now he's getting litigious with Tennessee trying to transfer with Georgia. I mean, trying to transfer to Tennessee, and he can't get his waiver through.
Yeah, I mean, I wish that Cade would just came here in the first place, but you know, if you got to lose a finger to wear the orange, you know, you got to do what you got to do.
Hey, that dad took one for the team. I don't know if it was an accident.
He might have chopped it off on his own. He might stuff. We got to get that. Now that didn't happen though because it was recruiting. It was a recruiting thing. You know,
was it like on an official visit or something?
I'm pretty sure it was on an official visit, and they were picking up the chairs after the dinner, and Cade Mays' dad was helping out. I'm not 100% positive about that, but I just know that he was folding that damn chair up, and whatever kind of chair the Bulldogs are using down there, I don't know what they're sitting in or what they're doing down there. What kind
of chair that is, so I'll never buy one.
But they're cutting fingers off down there.
The bear trap chair. I mean, that's insane. I guess though, thinking about this as the NCAA, so imagine I'm just like the worst piece of scum in the world, right? Am I really going to say this dad cut his own finger off on accident suing the school. We're gonna let him go. I mean, I'm the worst guy in the world in this
Still
hypothetical.
went there though. It's not like he got his finger cut off and they were like, "All right, screw this. We're not coming here because of this." He still went there.
Yeah, but it just got to like an untenable point, I guess, with the lawsuit and everything. I can see that.
I've had a couple buddies play for Georgia, and I've been informed that it ain't what it seems, and that's the case in a lot of college football programs.
Yeah, I
But
would
it ain't
imagine
what it
so.
seems. Kirby Smart is an asshole, great coach, but an asshole, and quite frankly, a lot of these SEC coaches are assholes. But I've just been heard that I'm sorry, I've just been told that it's not as luxurious as they think down there in Athens.
I mean, the fact that they brought in Jamie
Lose a
Newman.
finger.
I mean, the fact that they brought in Jamie Newman and didn't even tell him, and then next week they bring in JT Daniels, that should tell you all you need to know
Exactly.
about how
What are you
cutthroat shit is
doing, Kirby?
down in Georgia, man. How do
You're
you bring in-
literally messing with this kid's future, Kirby. I mean, tell him that you've got somebody else coming in and let him go to Louisville or somewhere where he can play and go to the league. I mean, he's a good quarterback. What's going to happen is neither JT Daniels nor Jamie Newman they're not going to the league. They got 1 year left wherever they're going, and then that's it for them.
Yeah, well, who knows? I mean, if Jake Fromm can get drafted, man, anyone could probably accomplish it.
That's true.
All right, guys. Well, that's about all we got for you today. But on the next show, we'll be giving out our official season predictions, including the players and the teams to watch, and our all-name team. We're also going to be doing our over-unders for the degenerates out there. We're hoping to get some fun interviews and segments coming in the next couple of weeks on the next couple of shows, so keep an eye out for updates on that. Give us a review if you like it, and if not, just act like it never happened. We'll have a hotline up and running for you guys to reach out to. We'll put it in our bio on the podcast app or wherever you listen to podcasts. But yeah, I'm Tanner, and with my buddy Clay, and we're signing off for Section 3.